Hello, welcome everybody. Happy 2021, Happy New Year, Happy Bare Feet Live Day, Happy Travel Tuesday. I don't know how many hashtags we can bring up, but I've missed you guys. It's been almost 2 weeks it's been exactly 2 weeks since we last danced together, since we last saw each other live. And I just want to say thank you so much to all of you joining us right now. Today's going to be a slightly different live than usual. A little bit of housekeeping. It's been a year. 2020 was a year. And, you know, we're continuing on with time. And I just thought to kick off our Bare Feet Live series, I'm going to be doing things slightly different going forward in 2021. First of all, we're only going to have Bare Feet Lives on Tuesdays. And that doesn't mean it's just going to be on YouTube or Facebook. It depends on the guest. What we found on Instagram is we have a very small, tiny little box, and it's really difficult to dance in that box. So a majority of our dance guests are going to be here on this platform, whether you're tuning in from YouTube Live or Facebook Live. We just have a little bit more room to dance, and we have a little more accessibility for our guests. It's really for our guests' sake, because I just want them to be able to move and to be able to share with us their culture and their dance. And number two, you know, on Instagram, we'll probably do more of the travel talks. It depends on who our guest is, but always on Tuesdays, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. But let's say a couple hellos to everyone joining us. This is just amazing that you're all here. We have Fred, Anne, Joseph Mallozzi. We must be related. We have the same last name. So hello, Paisan and Cugino, maybe. I don't know. We may be related. David, Victor from San Antonio, Texas, the Ewan family from DC. They are one of our supporters of the Bare Feet series. Without them, this show wouldn't be possible. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more later. Maureen, buon anno, grazie. Thank you so much. Chris, Happy New Year. Shirley Rodriguez from New York City, Happy New Year. Eric Hurley from Texas, thank you so much. Lauren Wagner, hey girl, Happy New Year. David from Tulsa, thank you so much. We have DJ Didge from UK. My nonna was Mallozzi from Minturno. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Wait, who is your nonna? Tell us who your nonna is, because maybe we're related. It's been a year, Leslie. Yes, it has. Kate, thank you. Sharon, thank you for being here. Vito Pocha, grazie, thank you for being here. So this is just a wonderful, wonderful group of people. A big shout out to my brother-in-law, Seb. He crocheted this amazing, look at this. This is my Christmas present. He won Christmas, and today's his birthday. So happy birthday, Seb. We love you. We are so grateful for all the things you do, and I just love this so much. This has been my favorite Christmas present. It is absolutely amazing. Handmade. Look at that. It's crocheted. All hand stitched. I have some incredible family. So happy birthday, and thank you so much. I love this, love this, love this. This is going on my wall of all of my things that I love so much from my travels. And this is from my travels too, because without my travels, Bare Feet wouldn't exist. So happy birthday, Seb. We love you. John Frey, thank you for joining us. Karen, always having trouble playing the videos. Oh, I hope there's a little bit better, clearer thing that the videos are coming through. So today's Bare Feet Live, we don't have a guest. I'm your guest today. I'm going to be sharing a little bit about Bare Feet. I'm going to be opening this up for you guys for Q&A if you want to ask me any questions. But I wanted to just kick off 2021 just saying thank you for everything, for all of your support, for everybody who's been on here. Thank you to everyone who's been our Bare Feet Live guests. We had over 45 guests last year, which means we were doing it for like 45 weeks. Which is a lot. And that's why going forward too, for me, we have a lot of things in the pipeline, and just for my sanity, I love dancing every week with all of you, but we have some great news of new episodes of Bare Feet coming out in February. So stay tuned. There aren't too many because COVID really kind of halted all production to go to any other destination moving forward, but we were lucky that we had filmed pre-COVID. So we have 2 new episodes coming out in February, and I think you're really going to enjoy them. So that being said, this year is a really special anniversary for me. And, oh, sorry, it's not crochet, it's cross stitch. I'm so sorry, guys. Obviously, I don't know what I'm talking about. It's cross stitch. Thank you, Seb. Cross stitch, not crochet. You're talking to a crocheting cross stitch needlepoint sewing dummy. which I shouldn't be since I'm on Create TV. And it's like knitting, TV, and cross stitch and crochet. But I love it anyway. I have no idea how to do this, and I respect everybody who can do this so beautifully. So thank you to my brother-in-law, Sebastian. We love you and happy birthday. So sorry, guys, didn't mean to not crochet. It's cross stitch. My apologies. But this week is a really, 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 really special anniversary for me. It's really strange because whenever I would do interviews with people and I'd tell them how I fell in love with travel, it always, my first memories that would come to me for years as I was talking about bare feet was my study abroad program. I think because it really was a special time in my life. And it was the summer between my sophomore and junior year of college. And I got to live in Florence, Italy for 6 weeks in the most amazing setting. I also was studying Renaissance art history in the city where the Renaissance, it was the focal point of the Renaissance. So it was just this amazing experience. But my memory kind of like screwed up with my head. And as I kept doing these interviews over and over and over again, in the past year or two, I realized, because I kept saying to myself, oh, that was the first time I ever traveled internationally by myself. And it wasn't. I had completely forgotten about this trip that I did 20 years ago this week. And that's why I wanted to share this story today, because it was 20 years ago this week. And the more I kept thinking about this trip, the more I realized this was the seed that was planted for bare feet 20 years ago. And I started bare feet. The idea of bare feet came to me. It'll be 11 years in January. And it's, for some reason, there was this moment in my life that stuck out to me so much that it was planted inside, and I wanted to keep replicating that. So going back 20 years, this January, this exact week, I boarded a plane to Scotland, to Edinburgh, Scotland. I don't remember going to the airport. I don't remember boarding that plane. I don't remember getting to Edinburgh. I don't remember any of this stuff. I think I might have flown to Glasgow, and then I don't remember any of this stuff. And I went there because a friend of mine's father was getting married, and it was this beautiful, gorgeous wedding, Scottish, sort of very regal wedding. And the things that stuck out to me the most that I remember was the dancing. And there was a moment, and this is the memory that, the only real memory that I remember from that entire trip. And this was like a pretty extensive trip, but I think because of my age and the circumstance, like I just didn't remember so much of it. But this one moment, the father who was getting married is Scottish, and the wife that was soon to become his wife was American. And there were all these Americans that came over. And so they thought, you guys don't know what a Scottish ceilidh is. So we're going to teach all you Americans how to do a Scottish ceilidh, because at the wedding, there's going to be Scottish reels, these bands playing, and everyone's going to jump into dancing, and you will have no idea what's going on. So it was like a 3-day affair. And one of the days they had in a barn, a little CD player, you know, this was back in 2001, January of 2001. And they started playing Scottish reels on the CD, and we had a teacher, and he taught us Scottish reels and Scottish ceilidh. And that memory stuck into my heart, not just like my brain, but my heart so deeply. I'm going to start crying. Stuck into my heart so deeply. There was so much joy in this moment that I didn't realize that was like the only thing that I remembered from that entire trip. Sorry, guys. I'm a crier. You know that if you watch the show. And fast forward all these years, what I realize now in retrospect is all of my travels going forward, I kept seeking out that moment over and over and over again of that barn, of that ceilidh in a barn with a little farmer in muck boots, you know, because it was like muddy, and we're literally in like a cattle barn or a sheep barn dancing to ceilidh music. And I just had so much, there was so much joy with all these people, these new people that I had just met, and we're dancing ceilidh. And now I'm realizing 20 years ago this week, bare feet was planted in this magical moment in this manor in Edinburgh, Scotland. So I appreciate that family. I appreciate that moment forever. And it really was the starting point for all of my adventures. And that being said, I would love to share with you what these adventures have looked like in the past 10 years. If you haven't seen this video yet, I hope you enjoy it. Every time I see it, I get emotional too, because it just reminds me of how lucky I've been, how honored I am that I'm able to share these adventures with you on PBS, on Create, and here on our Facebook and YouTube. So take a look at what Bare Feet has grown from that moment 20 years ago as a little seed, and the past 10 years of me making new friends by dancing with strangers.
Specializzato ma non c'è fatia, te resta solo la, te resta solo la tua fantasia, tua fantasia, tua fantasia, te resta solo la tua fantasia. Ci vuoi cazzi a casa un'agonia, ci vuoi facci famiglia una follia, ci te perché nama, ci te fermi, ci te perché nama malenconia, 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 ci te perché nama malenconia.
That is the beautiful song by Canzoniere Grecanico Salentino, who we featured in our Puglia episode in Italy. They are dear, dear friends. But watching that just brings me back to the past 10 years of Bare Feet, of my life, especially a time of reflection when we haven't been able to travel. I feel so, so blessed and so lucky to have found something that I'm so passionate about. I feel so lucky to have found a platform to be able to share these stories. And it is just a joy. Can I just share with you the lyrics of that song? Because I always love that song. Canzoniere Grecanico Salentino are the prominent pizzica band in the world, especially in Puglia, Italy. And I always love this song. This song, I think, is almost 10 years old, but it's one of my favorite songs of theirs. And when I was putting this sort of recap of the past 10 years together, I immediately thought of this song, and they're singing in the Pugliese dialect, in their dialect, so it's not strict Italian. And so half of it, I didn't really know what they were saying. And then I looked up their lyrics, and let me just read it to you. And let's hope I don't cry again. But it says, "You've graduated, but there's no work. Have a master's, but there's no work. And you left with only your imagination. Wanting to buy a house, it's an agony. Wanting a family, it's crazy. But if you stop, there's melancholy. Get up, find a way, keep on going, don't stop. Find a way to take a chance. Your voice is strong. Make it heard. Whew. When you go abroad, the symphony changes. When you go abroad, it feels like magic. When they respect you for your art, don't stop, don't stop. Get up, find a way, keep going, don't stop. Find a way, take a chance. Your voice is strong, make it heard. I'd like to go away, but I don't want to because you have my heart. I knew it. To cure myself from this disease. Again, tears always. But when I read that, I thought, oh my gosh, this song is just perfect for this piece because I'd love to share with you, you know, when I started this project, everyone told me I was crazy. Everyone told me that, what are you going to do? Just travel and dance around the world? That's nuts. That's totally insane. No one's ever done that. Why would you ever do that? And when I heard that song and putting it on top of this montage of, I didn't stop. I didn't listen to those people. And I'm so happy that I didn't listen to them. And I'm glad I was crazy enough to just keep on going with this project. So I'm not going to cry because I'm happy. Everything is wonderful, but it is just so emotional for me because I care about my work and I care about having you guys join me on all of this. And I'm grateful for all of you joining me. We have so many wonderful people here today. Thank you so, so, so much. I'm going to open it up to questions, a Q&A. This is your time to ask me because on all of our future Bare Feet Lives, we have incredible guests who have incredible stories to share, their dances, their culture, their music, their passion. And I always want to focus on them because they are what make this possible. These are the dances that truly transport us around the world when we cannot travel. For the past 10 months, we've had incredible guests who have transported us around the world. So if you have a question for me about my journey, please let me know. I'd love to share anything and everything. I'm always very transparent about this process. I always want to help inspire, but more so empower other producers and storytellers to be able to share their stories if they're as passionate as I am, and also on public television. Public television is necessary for our community, for education, for enlightening content that's not just entertaining, but educational and informational. And it is pure in the sense that there's no advertising, right? That's why there's no sponsorship influence on our content, which means I don't make that much money, but I get to make the show that I wanted to make. And like I said, I make the show that people never thought I should make. We've proven them wrong, right? Because we're all here. So let's take a few questions. This is from Maya. Do you feel the pandemic has brought you closer to the people, culture, and fans? Yeah, I think that through this pandemic, I haven't felt disconnected from people, and that's where I feel lucky. Yes, I'm very isolated. I haven't been able to physically touch other people while dancing, but it's been this amazing opportunity to be able to connect with each of you live every single week. I didn't have time to do that before because we were working on pre-production for our TV show. And I hope to continue to do lives more often. Let's say we're doing them this year. But once we're able to travel and go back into production, I would love to continue to do these lives. I did a few lives for our last season to kind of do a surprise of, guess what? This is where my DNA comes from. We're in the middle of Seville, Spain doing flamenco. And it was a kind of a reveal, but I'd love to do more of these interactive moments where I get to connect with you. But yes, I feel not more so or less so, but I feel like what an opportunity to stay connected when I could have just dropped off the face of the earth and sort of crouched in a corner. And, you know, some days I felt like doing that, but really what drove me to continue was I get to connect with these wonderful people. And it's been wonderful. So Maya, thank you for that lovely, lovely, lovely question. We have my dear friend, Ryan Van Duzer. He is also a travel content creator. He's a traveler. He's incredible. He's wonderful, the warmest, kindest, most uplifting person. Please follow him. I love you, Ryan. Happy New Year. And Ryan is going to be an upcoming guest for a future Bare Feet Live. So stay tuned. We love Ryan. If you're an outdoors type, if you love running marathons, if you love hiking and biking, he doesn't even drive a car. He rides his bike everywhere. It's wonderful. And we love him. And he's helping save the planet. And he's helping save our hearts. So thank you, Ryan. Let's see. Other questions. From Scott, how do you find all the local people in interesting segments, merchants, food? So there's a couple different ways that we do that. When I say I make new friends by dancing with strangers, I'm not lying. So, for example, Canzoniere Grecanico Salentino, who you heard that beautiful song in that montage, we featured them in our season premiere of season 3, which was my DNA season. We went to Puglia. I met them back in 2013, I think it was. They were playing in New York City at this wonderful venue called Drome NYC in the East Village. It's right around the corner from where I used to live. My favorite venue in all of New York City because it is a world music venue. And I saw that they were playing. It was part of, I think it was part of the Gypsy Festival happening in New York. And I just became a fan. And I sort of stalked them. I wrote on my blog post back when Bare Feet was a blog. And I wrote a whole review about it, and I just started following them on social media and just kept in touch with what they were doing. And so when I realized that my DNA obviously comes from, part of it comes from Italy, I thought Puglia is a region that perfectly represents a really great mix of my own DNA because I had a strong Italian, Southern Italian, and Greek and Turkish influence. And Puglia is part of that country that has such a strong Turkish, Greek, Italian influence all mixed together. Plus, they have this wonderful dance and music tradition called La Pizzica. So I thought, let's go to Puglia, and who better to feature than Canzoniere Grecanico Salentino? So I reached out to Mauro, who's the leader of the band, and I said, ciao, Mauro, I'm Mickela. I wrote this review about you. At this point, it was like 6 years ago, and my crew and I are coming to Puglia. I would love to feature you in the band. And from there, he introduced us to the tamburello maker. I also danced in Puglia. When was it? It was years ago when we were doing something with Walks of Italy. And I met another dancer named Vincenzo. You met him when we ate lunch. I met him years ago as well. And so I connected with these contacts that I had over the years and said, this is what we're looking for. Can you help us? And that's how I love to really find the stories, is either find a friend or a person or a local and ask them, because they live there. They're the ones, this is their everyday life, and they know what's special about that place, especially in terms of dance and music, right? My travels are very specific. I'm not going to see the most lavish hotel or the best dinner or the 5-star restaurant. You're not going to see me do that. There are plenty of other shows that do it, and they do it much better than I can. What I love to do is find the dance and music stories that tie into the community and tie into the culture. And the friends that I make always are these dance and music folks. So in other opportunities where I don't have a local contact, I'll either reach out to friends to see if they know people. So for example, when we went and filmed in Buenos Aires, Argentina, we did tango, I reached out to one of my videographers who filmed with us in Min Turno in our first episode. His friend was a filmmaker in Buenos Aires, and her friend turned out to be Inez Rossetti, who was the dance teacher. I remember I call her my tango angel. She took us around and she was our guide. She basically brought us into all these magical places of Zona Tango and all these wonderful places. And we also worked with a local tour operator in New York City who ran local tours. And so she helped facilitate with travel. But I really love to reach out to my own network and community. Another thing, all of season 2, Bare Feet in NYC, those are all my friends. We don't make it as apparent that I know all these people or have known them for so long, but I was a dancer in New York City. When I started Bare Feet, I was a dance teacher in New York City, but I was also going out every single night, seeing dance performances like Canzoniere Grecanico Salentino at Drome, all of these wonderful dance classes. And New York is such a plethora of a multicultural mix for the arts, especially. And so I had crossed paths with so many dancers from so many different backgrounds that when I partnered with NYC Life, and there was a co-production with them, and I said, I have a wealth of knowledge of people who I can turn to, and we have all these wonderful groups. And from them, they said, oh, you need to try this. For example, Calpulli Mexican dance. I've loved them. I followed them for years. And they, in turn, were my guides for when we went to Nixtamal and we went to eat for lunch, and then going to celebrate Dia de los Muertos. They asked me to dress as La Catrina. So I love to reach out to my own community. Now, when I don't have anyone that I can reach out to, I work with the local tourism boards in the destinations I'm going to, and I say, I'm very specific. These are what I want. These are the type of dances I want to reach. Or when we went to the Republic of Georgia, it literally was a dream of mine to dance with Saakashvili Georgian National Ballet. My entire dance life. And so we told Georgia Travel. And they're like, okay, we'll figure that out. And the funny thing about that interaction, and this leads to another story, is there's so much lost in translation when we do bare feet. I have a very small crew. It's me and 2 other people. I'm my own sound person. I'm dumping footage at the end of the night till 3 a.m. My crew are 2 hustlers that are working their butts off. We are exhausted by the end of a shoot day. Sometimes we shoot 14-hour days, sometimes longer. It's just 3 of us, and we have such a small footprint that people feel super comfortable with us. We don't have huge lights. I have more lights on me now than I do when we're actually filming. But we show up, we're with the tourism board, we have a translator. I don't speak Georgian. It's a very unique language that they don't know the origin of it, of that language. And we show up to Saakashvili Georgian National Ballet's rehearsal space, and we're sitting there, we're getting all this B-roll. That means the footage of showing the dancers, and I'm watching. And the whole point, as you know, you've seen the show, is I need to get up and try the dance and try the costume if possible, depending on the opportunity. And so we're sitting there, and they're rehearsing for a massive performance like the next day or 2 days later. So it's like a tech rehearsal for anyone who's a dancer or performer. Like, this is almost dress rehearsal. They're just doing a tech rehearsal. And here's this American girl who comes in, who's never done Georgian dance, is trying to convince them to let her just jump in. And so the director was not happy. And it was a brother and sister. They were not happy. And you could see, we were there for an hour, and I'm waiting. I have my shoes ready. I'm watching the choreography, taking notes in my head. And I see the brother and sister arguing in the corner. I was like, oh no, I know. I don't speak Georgian, but I know exactly what's happening right now. And he does not want me to waste their time. So the kind woman came over from Georgian tourism. She goes, I'm sorry, Mickela. We can't have you dance with them. They're in the middle of rehearsal. And in my head, I'm the type of person that can kind of convince anybody to do anything. And I said, in my head, I'm thinking to myself, we just flew all the way up from the other side of the world. There's no way we cannot get footage of me dancing with these people. And so I said, all I need is 5 minutes. Just give me 5 minutes. And it was a bit insulting of me to say that, because imagine going to New York City Ballet. This is the equivalent, and saying, here's this person who's never done ballet before, but they're going to learn part of a ballet by Mr. Balanchine, George Balanchine, in 5 minutes, right? That's what I'm saying to them. And he storms off. And I said, and then the sister was very kind, and she said, well, is there a part of the piece that you want to learn? And I had seen the women in a line, and you'll see that in our episode. It's with the footwork and the 4 women that are helping and dancing with me. So I said, there's this moment where the 4 ladies are dancing. She goes, okay, so we start doing it. Every single second that you see in that segment in our show, in our Republic of Georgia episode, that's in season 3, we used, because all I had was literally 5 minutes to learn that dance. The beautiful thing about this, and this happens every single time, and I feel really grateful for this, as I'm learning it, they're starting to clap, they're cheering me on, you can hear it. And the artistic director, Iliko Saakashvili, who I am in awe of, he's an incredible choreographer and dancer, was watching and saw that I was picking it up, and he comes in, and then he said, let's teach you the men's dance. And so he got excited. And then in the end, it worked out. And I literally had 5 minutes with these dancers. So, you just got to roll with the punches. That's it. Thank you, Scott. I know that was a very long-winded answer. But I just want to give you guys sort of the behind the scenes of what bare feet is like, because it's not all, roses and daffodils and easy. It is not an easy job. Let's see what another question. Maya, again, I love this question. How did you get the attention of PBS and Create? So this is something to understand as well. PBS doesn't write me a check. I'm not signed to PBS. I'm not signed to Create. And this is for all independent producers on public television. That includes some of our guests like Samantha Brown, Rick Steves, Joseph Rosendo. We have to find all the funding. We have to abide by all the guidelines for creating public television that is informational and educational, as well as entertaining programming. There cannot be a conflict of interest with the funding. So let's say I got Coca-Cola to be my sponsor, right? Brought to you in part by Coca-Cola. I could never show a t-shirt or me drinking a Coke in any portion of the episodes, because then it would seem like Coca-Cola had a say on the content. And that's why public television is so important. We are transparent. There is no influence from sponsorship. So basically it fell onto me. But my story is to go nationally on PBS and Create. I started at my local station, NYC Life. They are family to me. Those of you in New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, Long Island, NYC Life is my life. They started airing me for free on the local channel, and they just kind of gave me airtime. And it was this like, I was repurposing my YouTube videos and putting them on locally. So some of them were great and some of them were not great. And then it started to kind of build momentum, and they put us in a weird time slot, like, I don't know, maybe early in the morning or late at night. And it just, it was really just an opportunity. And it was the #1 market in the United States. It is TV market. And I ended up getting nominated for 2 New York Emmy Awards, and I won for Best Host. And so they're like, we want a second season and we'll put you in prime time. And so it started to build this momentum. And then slowly but surely I had enough episodes to put on national distribution through PBS. And you have to find funding, because you have to pay for distribution, pay for production. And then all of a sudden it just kept building and building. And it's been an incredible journey. But if you are an independent producer, if you have an idea for a show that you think would be a good fit for PBS or Create, you can do it. You can make it. Like I said, nobody wanted to give me a chance. They thought I was crazy. They thought a show about travel and dance would go nowhere. And here we are. We're one of Create's top shows. We're NYC's Life's #1 show. We're on Amazon Prime globally. It's been a joy, but it's a lot of work because no one is there to pay for it. You have to find all the fundraising. And one of our guests, the people on here that's watching right now is the Ewan Foundation. They are the Ewan family, and they have been so supportive. They are one of our main supporters for Bare Feet, starting with season 3. They're supporting with the 2 episodes that are coming on February. And we are just so honored that they're part of the Bare Feet family. And we hope to continue the relationship of growing together as soon as we can start filming again. We have Giuseppe Mallozzi from Minturno. Ciao, buon anno, buone feste. Salutami a tutti a Minturno, ai giullari. I'm saying please say hi to everyone. For everybody who has not seen our very, 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 very first episode that we ever shot of Bare Feet, it was in my family's hometown in Minturno. Giuseppe Mallozzi is a writer there. I don't think we're related, but there are so many Mallozzi families everywhere you go, you throw a dead cat, you hit a Mallozzi. So, grazie Giuseppe, speriamo che ci vediamo fra quest'estate, non lo so. So, I hope we see you soon. Oh my gosh, Kimothy, if someone wants to donate, how can we do it? That's very kind. If you want to donate to your local PBS station, that does not affect us. That affects your local PBS station. But if you really feel so inclined, we have a fiscal sponsor that's our nonprofit. So that's how we get foundation support. So if you really are interested, you can go to travelbarefeet.com. This was not to solicit money from anybody, but if you are interested, please go to travelbarefeet.com and you can send us an email under contact. Just send an email and say you saw this on the Bare Feet Live. But any foundations out there that want to support public programming, the arts, our programs are actually used in the public school system. As soon as COVID hit, the New York public school system, their dance department reached out to me and said, Mickela, can you help us? And I said, yeah, it's PBS. Everything is free. So we don't have to do anything. Here's access to all the videos for your students. And teachers have been using it for dance education, world cultures education, and just bringing joy to the kids, because as we know, it's been really tough homeschooling. But thank you for that question, Timothy. Let's see. Diane, what is your favorite dance done on the road? That's always a really hard question, because every place I go to, it's like the last place I went to, I was like, oh my gosh, that was my favorite. And then I go to another place and I was like, oh my gosh, that was my favorite. I have to say, there's never been a place that I haven't had the best time of my life. That's all I have to say. And this is coming from someone who gets sick in every place I visit. I get violently sick. You can ask my crew. I just have a very weak stomach. I eat everything, but in the sense of like, I guess the bacteria in my stomach. I travel with a lot of charcoal pills. But the dances, I love to do masculine dances. And I think that's just because the way my body is built, I'm very stocky. A lot of my muscular build is like in my legs. So I love like jumps and squats. And I love also percussive dances. So if anything that's very rhythmic, like Irish step dance or tap dancing, or in Eastern Europe where there's like odd meter dances. But it's always the men's dances I love. I don't feel as feminine just in general. Like I feel like I'm a little more kind of tomboy. So if it's like trying to be sexy, I feel awkward and I just need to embrace that. But the manly dances, if any of you have seen our Cyprus episode, I got to dance with one of the top dancers, Shakalis Dance School in, where were we? In, not Larnaca, we were in Nicosia. And that was one of my favorite dances I've done. And it's like this competition dance. So you're competing with another dancer. And then he let me dress up in a man's outfit because I asked him, and you know, what are you going to do? They were like, yeah, why not? We've never done this before, but we'll let you dress up as a dude. And it was awesome. And I loved it. And those are my favorite dances, are the ones where I feel like powerful and not coquettish. You know, that's just not my personality. I'm more like in your face. It's the New Yorker in me that just can't, you know, loud and a little bit obnoxious, but always with a little bit of fun. Let's see. So many wonderful questions. Please keep asking away. Again, like I said, I want to share as much as I can. I have my 7th grade teacher on here, Mr. Perry. What's up, Mr. Perry? We love you. I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful new year. I hope it's better than 2020 so far. I hope Mr. Perry, Mr. P is like the best teacher. By the way, Mr. P, introductory adverb clauses, I never screw that up because of you. My grammar is pretty good, all because of your class. So Mr. P, I love you, thank you, and I miss you. So many questions. Okay, let's see. I love, these are just statements. I really like them. Chris says, I think you find the interesting things that we would not normally see. I like that. That's what I do in my photography. I show things that people don't see every day. That's really cool, Chris. I'm going to check out what you've been taking photos of, because I do think it's interesting. You know, I belong in this dance world, but also the travel world. And especially on social media, when you see people on Instagram or sort of travel influencers, a lot of their posts are these like gorgeous panoramic shots with them wearing a hat on the beach, or, you know, it's always this, the focal point is the destination and the place and the breathtaking place. And if you ever see my Instagram or even my show, we show some establishing shots, but it's really about the people that we get to meet, right? That, to me, that's the beauty of the place. So we could be in the most gorgeous setting, but our image and our story and the focal point of what I want to capture is in the closeness and interaction of the dancing that's happening at that moment. So you're not going to come to our page to find gorgeous panoramic scenic shots of a place. Don't even bother. But you will find some unique things that people sometimes overlook. So thank you, Chris, for that. I love this. Love your show. You always look like you're having so much fun. Because I am. I'm having the best time of my life. That's what people should do. I feel very lucky that I found a job. I made a job that I absolutely love, but I eat, breathe, and sleep it, and it makes me cry in tears of joy, but also frustration. Like I said, you know, I don't have someone or a network who's sending me a check and then we go and make the show. Sometimes, most of the time, we're shooting this with no money and then trying to find the money later. So support your public television. Again, if you want to support, if there are foundations that want to support the arts and travel and diversity and voices that are unique, you know, being a female travel host is still a novelty, unfortunately. We need more women who are telling stories. We need more people of color. We need more women of color. We need people with disabilities on camera. We need so many people that look different from each other to be represented. So support public television. It's wonderful. Let's see. Kate Kirkwood says, I saw the Irish tour planned for the future. Will there in addition be tours with you that are less expensive with similar accommodations also in the future? It depends on the destination. So what I like to do is our tours are really, they're not luxury, and they are sort of mid-range price-wise. So if you look at a small group tour with similar attractions and similar experiences, it's rather on the lower end. But that's only because we want it small group, safe. Obviously, we've always wanted them to be small group tours, but you're going on these once in a lifetime experiences that you may have seen in our shows. We hope, moving forward, we'll have more, and the price may go down, but it probably won't go down too much. But that includes all accommodations. We're not staying in 5-star hotels. And it's really just about the experiences and really digging deeply into the place that we're going. And this is including all the food tours, all of the biking tours, all of the dance lessons that we're doing, all of these wonderful experiences. And if you're interested in coming on a Bare Feet tour, we have them scheduled for this year, and we're going to obviously rerun them next year too. So I know with COVID, there's so much happening every day. It seems like we're not sure what's going to happen. So it's all very flexible. I hope to travel soon, but we will only travel if it's safe enough. And if you're interested, go to travelbarefeet.com. They're just wonderful. I just love traveling, and I love traveling with other people and sharing this experience, not just through the TV show, but with people who may want to travel with me. Let's see, Peter Healy. Peter, what's up? He's from Stanford. We met on the beach not too long ago when I went to visit my parents. Peter, wonderful to see you. Who travels with you? Camera operators, audio technicians. Like I said, it's just me and 2 other people for now. We're hoping to, it used to be actually for the first 2 seasons, me and 1 other person, if you can believe it. We shot a whole Emmy award-winning TV show with just me and 1 person. And that says a lot about my director of photography. She is so talented. Her name is Lina Plioplite. I was also honored to work with a few other DPs in the past, including Juliana Brosti, who filmed with me in Scotland and South Korea. I worked with Bridget Savage Cole, who is an incredible filmmaker. A lot has happened since we started working together, and she filmed with me in Min Turno, our very first episode, and Croatia and the Cook Islands. But all of season 2, starting from Turkey in season 1 through season 2, has been my DP, Lina Plioplite. She has an incredible independent film called Advanced Style, which is, it was on Netflix, and I think now it's on Hulu or Amazon Prime. Wonderful, wonderful film. And she's a doc filmmaker, so she shoots doc style. So it's like run and gun. And then I've worked with a team called Little Dragon, who, when I cannot have Lina, because Lina is in high demand, and my other team, I have backup and wonderful people who I've worked with before, who I love working with. So it's always who's available, who wants to go to this specific country, and who can just jump on a plane and come with me, before pre-COVID, obviously. But we're small. We're a small crew. Now we're 3 people, me and two camera shooters. And again, I do sound, but moving forward, we hope to have at least a producer with us to help. So it's not such a heavy load on the 3 of us. But again, it all depends on budgets. I love this. I love being able to share this. Does my husband have any dance skill? Yes, he does, or else I wouldn't marry him. He's got rhythm. He's a musician. We actually went to music school together at university at NYU. He's not a dancer. I don't think he considers himself a dancer, but he has rhythm, and we love to dance together. I don't think he's as outgoing as I am. And he's not the first person to jump on the dance floor at a party. I am that person, and eventually I drag him up there. But when he's up there, he loves to have a good time. But he's a musician. He's a very talented musician, and I love hearing him play. And we're pretty much opposites attract, pretty much all the way through. Yeli Cruz, is there anything that you would like to add more to your shows? If so, more time, segments? Yeah, when we public television, you either have a half-hour block or an hour block, and an hour just seems a little too long. and a half hour is sometimes it's just not enough time. And what we found is we've done some episodes that are two-parters, right? Like Ireland, we did 2 episodes. Spain, and we did Seville and Utrera, we did 2 episodes. In Malaysia, we did 2 episodes. Our upcoming 2-part special, which I'll talk about in a little bit, that's 2 episodes. And content-wise, if you watch like a Netflix show, it's anywhere between 46 and 50 minutes, and that's kind of a magic number. Who knows? If anyone out here wants to put us on Netflix, we would love to do that. But in the format that we have for PBS, I think the half hour is better on public television than it is, let's say, if it was on ABC, NBC, CBS, or even Discovery Channel or Travel Channel, because a half hour on public television is technically 26 minutes with no commercial breaks. A half hour on cable or network is 22 minutes with breaks in between, and that's 8 minutes of commercials, which is crazy. So when you have a 22-minute episode with commercial breaks, you always have to recap. So you're losing a lot of time. So you only have maybe 17 to 20 minutes of actual content. For us, we have a full 26 minutes of content. So I feel like we can tell a really robust story. But, you know, sometimes we want to tell more, and that's where we could do 2-parters. And I would love to be able to, in my segments, maybe feature some people who are a little more well-known and kind of dive into their cultures, kind of not a celebrity, but someone who you may be interested in. And look, they come from New Zealand, or they're Maori, or they're from Brazil, you know, and we kind of connect with them. That might be fun. But as long as we can start traveling again and filming, I'm excited to get back to this. I really miss working. Let's see, a few more questions while we have the time. Time has flown by, you guys. This is just wonderful. Oh, this is very sweet. Maureen says, you are one of a kind, Mickela. Don't change anything. Your shows are inspiring. A lifeline for dancers. I am one in the Midwest who does Balkan, Eastern European. You have the perfect mix of exploring the community and getting a feel of the culture, not just in real time, but we get a sense of the people's lives and their past heritage. Thank you so much, and keep the little bloopers in your show too. We can relate. Yes. Oh my gosh, this is so sweet. Maureen, thank you. That means the world to me. And I love the bloopers. What I love about the bloopers is I get to show that I'm a real person. I know a lot of people see travel shows and it's like, you think that person is like a million, you know, super rich, and they have a crew of 12 and they're staying at luxury hotels and everything's perfect and everything works out. For us, that's not the case, you know, and travel, I love to say this, travel is messy and travel is fun, but it's not perfect, and neither is our show. And I'm a human being and I mess up all the time, and I like to goof off. And what's really fun about seeing these bloopers is sometimes I don't even remember the stuff that we do, because we'll have 5 days of filming and we're filming 5 days straight. And there's just so much information coming in that I don't remember, that I just like flubbed a line, or not flubbed a line, but said someone's name completely wrong, or just started dancing in the street with someone and looked like a ridiculous human being. And then when my editors are going and sorting through the footage, we always say, start a folder that's all bloopers. And it's really fun, because then I get to like rewatch myself being so stupid and funny. And it's my favorite part of the show. And I'm glad it's yours too. So thank you so much. Let's see. Oh, I like this question. Eric Hurley, what is it like to wake up in another country and learn their culture and getting ready for a new dancing adventure? Whew. Well, waking up in another country is super exciting. It's sometimes really hard to sleep because you are in a new place, you're in a new time zone. And I always have jitters, like getting ready to film, you know, just getting settled into the place. But when I first started Bare Feet, I was really nervous. And like I said, there was a woman who filmed with me in my very first episode of Minturno. Her name is Bridget Savage Cole. She actually has a film out on Amazon. It's an Amazon original called Blow the Man Down. Check it out. It's awesome. It's a scripted film. So it's not like a doc, but it's just beautifully done. She was a writer on that. Anyway, we were filming in Minturno in Italy in the very first episode. And I had never been on TV. I had no hosting background, no TV background, no production background. I was a dance teacher in New York City and had this crazy idea to be like, let's hire my friends. We're going to go to my family's hometown. I can speak the language and we can figure this out. And the beautiful thing was, I was really good at pre-production, which means like setting up the interviews and finding the spots and all the logistics of filming a TV show. And then it came time to be on camera. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have to be on camera. And I forgot about that part. I don't know what I was thinking. It just like didn't even cross my mind that I had to perform and be hosting this whole adventure. And I froze. I was so scared. And Bridget said to me, because if you look at a camera lens from the other end, it looks like an abyss. It's like this black hole that leads to nowhere. And you're like, I'm talking to nobody. And no, this is so awkward and strange. And she goes, no, you're just talking to me. It's Bridge. You're just talking to me. And after that moment, something clicked in my head, like I'm talking to a friend. And so going forward from that very first trip, even when I was traveling by myself and filming a lot of times for when Bare Feet was just a YouTube series, and I would hold the camera and talk into this a black hole, an abyss again, but thinking, oh, Bridget's on the other side of that, even though it's just the back of my hand. And it really helped me familiarize and think, I'm talking to a person, not an inanimate object. And I'm relaying my emotions to a friend of mine who I want to see how much fun I'm having. So it was when I first started filming, even my Argentina episode, and Bridget was filming with me there too, I was still nervous. And a good example of that is right before I go on stage dancing tango at Tango Porteño, I'm crying because I'm nervous, because I don't want to screw up. I feel like there's so much pressure put on me. I had just learned how to tango that week, days before. And here I am being thrown on stage to be a featured dancer where people are paying to be sitting in the audience. And I was so worked up. I was like upset, right? Like, I don't want to screw up because I'm upset. And what you don't see is Bridget was sitting in the audience with the camera filming from the stage. And then my sound guy, because we actually had a sound guy, a good friend of mine named Mike Q. Herrick, dear friend. This is when we had flip videos. This was like as if you're holding your iPhone up to film this. He's standing in the wings where I'm going to exit because he wanted to get my reaction, which we got when Jesus and I were high-fiving, because I was just like, we did it, right? But what you don't see is me. I'm on the other side. I'm on stage right because I exit stage left. And I was so nervous. My hands were shaking. I could not calm down. And I sat down and I was getting ready to enter the stage. And I thought to myself, oh my gosh, this is Bare Feet. This is real. This is my dream. This is exactly what I wanted. I asked to come to Argentina, learn tango, film it for an episode. I asked to be in part of the show, and I somehow convinced these people to let me do it. What are you nervous about, Mickela? This is exactly what you wanted. I'm like literally having a pep talk to myself in my head. Like, what is wrong with you? You should be ecstatic. Like, come on, this is amazing. And I had this big smile on my face, and I went on stage and I did what I did, and I got up and I was like, this is amazing. And now every time that I get to do what I do, I'm not nervous, because I'm like, you're the luckiest person in the world. First of all, you convinced these people to let you do something totally insane. And B, you're living your dream. This is exactly what you've been working towards. So there's no reason to be upset. There's no reason to be nervous. There's no reason to think if you screw up, who cares? And we've all known the bloopers are great. If I screw up, life goes on. The world doesn't end, and it's wonderful. And it's a really wonderful mindset, I think, in life, to just be like, does it matter if it doesn't go exactly as planned? No, because I'll just pick myself up and keep going. So that's what it feels like, Eric. Thank you for that question. I know that was a long-winded answer. I love telling you all the little tidbits. All right. We have to start winding down because it's been an hour already. I cannot believe it. Thank you so much. These are all just wonderful, warm messages. And I really, really hope that we get to dance and film in person soon. Again, until it's safe enough. But until then, I have a few announcements. So like I said, we have 2 new episodes coming out in February. I'm so proud of them. I'm so grateful that we had filmed them prior to COVID and prior to the lockdown. And starting the first week of February, we're going to be airing on PBS stations across the country, featuring Carnival in the Guadalupe Islands. It's a 2-part special. It is beautiful. It is powerful. It is colorful. It is so musical. That island, it's just like music all the time, dance all the time. And it is just a beautiful representation of joy, of Black joy, of the history of the people of Guadalupe, the festival of Carnival, celebration through Carnival. I'm so proud. So please stay tuned. Check out travelbarefeet.com, because we're going to be sending out some special information. But also, a lot of the PBS stations across the country are actually re-airing older seasons in preparation for these 2 special episodes. So keep an eye out for that. And we're going to be here every Tuesday. Going forward, I know I used to do, before it was every Tuesday and Thursday. So it'd be Tuesday on Facebook Live and YouTube Live, and Thursday on Instagram Live. But we're just going to do Tuesdays now. And it can either be, depending on the guests, like I said earlier, Instagram is very limited in space, and we really want to give our guests the freedom to teach us the dances and the capability to let them share their dance and music with us. So most of our dance and music guests will be here on this platform, since there's a lot more room on the screen. But we will definitely still be doing Instagram Lives, depending on our guests and how they feel comfortable. So every Tuesday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, Tuesdays only. So just mark your calendar that we're no longer going to be doing Thursdays on Instagram. Now, that means we're going to continue dancing. I know this is a very special Bare Feet Live. I appreciate all of you, all your wonderful messages, all of your incredible questions. I know there's so many more questions. We just don't have time to get to them. And hopefully I'll be able to go through the comments and answer all of your questions written as well. But I want to send you off with, you may have seen a little bit of a recap of how 2020 was for us. And I shortened the video just so you can see our Bare Feet Lives, because Bare Feet Live really got me through this past year, because I wanted to continue traveling the world and dancing with people. And I figured out a way to keep that mission going. I'm not getting on a plane. I'm not getting on a train. I'm not getting in a car. I'm not able to touch the other dancer, but you have joined me in the past 10 months of connecting with so many incredible people around the world. We did samba in Rio de Janeiro. We were doing Tanzanian Haya dance. We did Irish step dance in Killarney. We've done flamenco in Spain. That's amazing. That is absolutely amazing. So I am grateful to you. I hope you keep dancing with us for 2021. I hope you join us for our new 2-part special coming in February. And again, thank you. I can only thank you guys so much for your love, for your support. Without the fans, Bare Feet wouldn't exist, right? So I'm so grateful. And with that, thank you. And I will see you guys next week, next Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern. We're going to have our first Bare Feet Live guest. And until then, check out what we did last year. Thanks, everybody. Happy New Year.
So just dance. Ooh, it's something magical. It's in the air, it's in my blood, it's rushing on. I don't need no reason, don't need control. I fly so high, no ceiling when I'm in my zone. Cause I got that sunshine in my pocket, got that good soul in my feet. I feel that hot blood in my body when it drops. Ooh, I can't take my eyes off it, moving so phenomenally. You're more like the way we rock it, so don't stop that. Under the lights when everything goes, nowhere to hide when I'm getting you close. When we move where you already know, so just imagine. Nothing I can see but you when you dance. Feel a good creeping up on you, so just dance. Come on, all those things I shouldn't do, but you dance. And ain't nobody leaving, so keep dancing. I can't stop the feeling, so just dance. So just dance. Come on. I can't stop the. 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 Nothing I can see but you when you dance, dance, dance. Feel good, good creeping up on you, so just dance, dance, dance. All those things I shouldn't do, but you dance, dance, dance. Ain't nobody leaving, so keep dancing. Everybody say.
Now let's do 2 bars. So I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2. Now let's do 1 bar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3. Now 2 counts. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. 1 count. 1, 2, let's dance at the same time.
It worked.
Yeah.
We'll get through this. We'll get through this, you know?
Nah, this is how we're gonna do it. We have to keep, keep our spirits high. We gotta keep physically active.
Happy New Year, everybody. I'll see you next week. Stay safe, be well, wear your masks, and we're gonna get through this together. I'll see you next week. Bye, everyone. Happy New Year.